The Phoenix Suns have a ginormous problem, and that problem is the fact that they rely on Devin Booker more than like a child relies on their parents to help them live. That's basically what the Phoenix Suns are without Devin Booker. They're a newborn child with no parents. They're just dead. They're going to die. Like, that's basically what they are without Devin Booker, and that's what it's been since Devin Booker has went out with his injury that he is currently dealing with right now. As so far in the 16 games that Devin Booker has missed, the Suns are a staggering 3-13, and so far in the month of January, they are 1-6 as well, showing that they need Devin Booker more than somebody needs water to live, and it is very apparent in a major ways throughout this roster, as they just cannot buy a win without Devin Booker being on the floor. And out of those losses that they have lost by 14 or more 6 times, and they have also lost by 19 or more 3 times throughout all those losses. So in a lot of them, they're not even just losing, they're just getting absolutely dominated, and that should not be the case when you still have players like Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton who played the majority of those games that Devin Booker was out for, and you should still be able to at least stay afloat with that type of team. And then on top of that, you have Mikal Bridges that are still there, you have other solid role players like Cameron Payne, Landry Shamet. Like, you should at least be able to stay afloat with that talent on that roster, but that just has not been the case at all with Devin Booker out. And to show how much they specifically rely on just Devin Booker, and not even just like all 3 of their stars being healthy at one time, just to show how much they struggle with only Devin Booker out, when Chris Paul was injured, and he's been injured for 17 games this year. Now, most of them were when Devin Booker was healthy and DeAndre Ayton were healthy, so the team was able to stay afloat. They went 10-7 in the 17 games that Chris Paul missed, and showed that they can stay afloat if Chris Paul is out. And Chris Paul is a huge part of this team, but they're at least able to stay afloat and still win games, and even have a winning record even though Chris Paul was injured, which just has not been the case at all when Devin Booker has been out. And the reason this is such a problem and why it is so concerning for the Phoenix Suns is for a few reasons. One of those reasons being the fact that this team is supposed to be a finals contending team. It's the whole reason they paid Chris Paul so much, it's the whole reason Devin Booker got paid much, and they even brought back DeAndre Ayton on a max contract. Mikal Bridges is going to get a bag, Cameron Johnson's going to get a bag. Like, all these players are getting paid a lot of money because they're trying to win an NBA Finals right now. And usually an NBA Finals team is able to go through a little bit of adversity, and no matter who they are. Like the Bucks, they went through adversity when they won the finals. The Golden State Warriors did. A lot of these teams at least have to overcome something in order to win the finals, and the Phoenix Suns are not showing much resolve to be able to do that. As like I said, yes, Devin Booker's been out, but they still have a very solid roster around them. They still have Chris Paul, they still have DeAndre Ayton, and those two alone should be able to result in more than just a few wins when Booker is out, and that just has not been the case at all. And they better pray to God that Chris Paul does not continue to get injured, because if you think it is bad right now with Devin Booker out, imagine if Devin Booker is still out and then Chris Paul continues to get injured as he gets older. You're going to be in a huge problem, because DeAndre Ayton by himself, although he is a good player, is nowhere near enough to single-handedly win games at a high level, and they better just pray that Chris Paul is at least able to stay healthy, which has not been a 100% thing at all so far this season. And another reason the Phoenix Suns fans should be very concerned with how things are going is because if you look at other teams that are dealing with very similar situations and really are in like kind of the same boat as, or at least were in the same boat as the Phoenix Suns currently are, they performed marginally better. And I mean a lot better. As look at the Pelicans. The Pelicans' big three of CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Zion Williamson has only played a total of 9 out of a possible 41 games together. And in the record of that time span where they haven't really played that many games, and not even including those 9 games, they have a record of 25-17. So they still have a winning record despite Zion Williamson missing a lot of time, CJ McCollum missing a lot of time, Brandon Ingram missing a lot of time, and they're still able to have success despite them not having star level talent on their roster. And then also even the Golden State Warriors, they just went 11 games games without Steph Curry, one of the best point guards in the NBA, if not the best point guard in the entire NBA. He was at the top of a lot of people's MVP ladders, and they just missed him for about a month of action, and in that month, they were able to go 6-5. So although they didn't find a lot of success, they were just at least able to stay afloat. But then you compare that to what the Phoenix Suns have done with Booker out, and you look at the start of this month where they are 1-6, and on the total with Booker out, they are 3-13. You start to see, well, maybe they can't stay afloat without Booker, and that is a ginormous problem, because if in the playoffs, God forbid, he gets hurt, they're pretty much screwed. If anything doesn't go right on the rehab with his injury, they could be in huge trouble and drop tons of places in the standing. They've already started to drop, and no telling how much more that drop can be kind of accelerated if Devin Booker's rehab process of this injury doesn't go well. So I think it is a huge concern and a huge problem that the Phoenix Suns have to somehow find a way to fix. And the only way to really fix it is that you go and trade someone like Jay Crowder for someone maybe like John Collins, or just trade Jay Crowder for a few vets that are going to help your team win now with Booker out. You just have to do something to like stop the leaking nearly as much as it is right now. And I just think they have to make a trade, or something at the deadline has to change, or this team could maybe risk being a play-in team, or maybe just missing the playoffs entirety if these injury problems keep happening, especially to Devin Booker. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be it for this video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think that the Phoenix Suns have a big problem, like a Booker problem with him being out? Do you think they should be better? Do you think they're going to be fine? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like, point the like button, subscribe button, and the absolute word to me. And I hope you have a blessed day, have a blessed day, so you have a blessed day. I'll go to you guys. See you next video. Goodbye, bye.